And in fact, my education was really more of a throwback in some regards to previous generations, where they really taught you stuff. But in the three generations that,
ever since the advent of major television as a medium in this country, I guess you're right.
As a symbolic brainwashing tool, yeah.
Well,
in the 1950s, they were quite clear. Go and look up the Tom Corbett Space Cadet series. And in there, the Illuminati lay out all the things about sacred geometry, what's coming up for us in 2012, what they have to do theoretically to save themselves, and so on and so on. And it was done in the guise of a science fiction script.
Tom Corbett?
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
They talked about 2012?
They talked about 2012 obliquely. You have to look for the symbology. Basically, they send Tom Corbett out to find this little bit of an asteroid that has a pyramid, a tetrahedral pyramid, on the surface of it that they have to break into, and there is a storehouse of knowledge which relates to the storehouse under Giza, et cetera, and it all ties back to Mars. And then it ties back to 2012 and the ascension of new levels of energy.
Did you see the picture of the piece of wood on Mars?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I've also seen the disinfo disclaimers. Oh, no, that's not wood. This is particular formation. Yeah, right, guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. See the water marks all around it and the erosion.
And I look at the Hoagland pictures of, Data's head on the moon, and I have some exact replicas here. My grow dome collapsed under the weight of the snow here because I hadn't adequately tessellated. Well, not all of it. It's curious the way it collapsed because it was mostly my fault. I hadn't tessellated the little igloo opening I'd put into it, so I had a weak spot. But when it collapsed, guess what it was a replica of? The structures described by Hoagland as existing on the moon as collapsed partial domes, and it stands up, and it has proportions and everything that would suit that.
Funny
so
stuff.
It's quite curious, but yeah, we're in for it. The next 4 years, there's no question.
This is what's the dome made of? Steel?
Mild steel with a woven poly across the top. So what actually happened was that I had three members that bent, and some of my pentagrams fell in. My pentagonal shapes fell in. So what I'm going to do is throw some ropes and block and tackle on some trees and pop it back out and reinforce it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, no big deal. Just, yet another 2 weeks worth of work on something I really didn't need to be doing, and I should have been paying attention to the snow load, but this sure teaches me.
Wow. Snow's pretty well melted now because of the Pacific
At our
Ridge.
elevation, but they're still sending people up to Packwood because since Sunday they've had another 2 feet, and some of the people living in mobile homes up there were close to 4.5 feet on top of their roofs, so it just had to come off.
That's
This is weather beyond our understanding. Yeah. We've had one really bad year a few years ago where we had 101 days of rain out of 104 across the winter boundary. But last year we had no spring. We went into a very dismal summer. We went into early winter storms hitting us before Thanksgiving, the type of storms we don't usually see until January. So
sure. Well, I hope you have a huge stock of vitamin D on hand.
That's actually not that crucial. I've done some research for vegetarians and so on, and vitamin D, you can get enough of it in a good vegetarian diet. It really, the adequacies of B12 and others would run out long before that. I hope not to be that housebound.
Well, you have your own tanning bed in there, and you just pop in a couple times a week and get your ultraviolet.
Yeah, I'm really worried about ultraviolet C, though, and the new form of ultraviolet, new energies coming out of space.
What is this?
We have ultraviolet A and B, but there's a lot of suggestion from the Russians that they've been actually experiencing and observing ultraviolet frequency C, a whole new frequency.
Something that hasn't been known of before or not apparent here before?
Not apparent here before. We may have actually been able to hypothesize it would exist, but we've never been able to measure it. Now they're seeing it in measurable levels. So I'm worried about glaucoma and cataracts and all those things that are affected by such.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I'll keep an eye out for that. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Talk to you next month. Good luck with the dome.
Yeah, just more work. Yeah.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.
Good night. Clif High of halfpasthuman.com. All right, that's our program tonight. We're going to take off for 21 hours. We'll, of course, be with you at Rense.com and see you right here tomorrow night with Webster Griffin Tarpley and scientist Loren Moray. See you then.